Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have to say that those questions relating to Hamas, et cetera, they're rather mystifying. This is not the Foreign Relations Committee, but be that as it may. I asked the following initial questions of all nominees on any of the committees on which I sit, so I will ask these two questions of our panel. And by the way, welcome to each of you and congratulations on your nominations. So, since you became a legal adult, have you ever made unwanted requests for sexual favors or committed any verbal or physical harassment or assault of a sexual nature? Judge Keel, let's start with you and we just go down the line.
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
Have you ever faced discipline or entered into a settlement related to this kind of conduct?
I have not, Senator.
No, Senator.
No, Senator.
I have a short question for Mr. Fanzoni. You mentioned that that the best practices for OLC, you noted three things: frank and independent advice. I think your second was that this advice would be discussed, thoroughly vetted, and then the third is that the advice would be made public. So, are these three aspects, best practices, being followed by OLC right now?
Senator, it's my understanding, and based on conversations I've had with the prior leader of OLC, that they do follow these best practices now.
Do you know when they started following these best practices?
I think they've been best practices for some time, and obviously they're ideals, and there may be times when people think that they don't, but I think the goal is always to follow those best practices.
That would be good, because I would not think that the torture memo was one that was the best kind of legal advice. Question for Judge Keel. I want to welcome your mother, because, where is she, by the way? Can you wave? Hi. 안녕하세요. So, you noted that her naturalization papers are in your office?
They're hanging with my father's naturalization certificate at the entrance to my chambers.
Aren't you also naturalized?
I was naturalized, but through my parents' naturalization. I was too young at the time.
Oh, okay, so you don't have a naturalization document hanging?
I do have a naturalization.
Okay.
I don't believe it's called a certificate. It's some other document that I have. It has my picture on it when I was a very young child.
Well, I can relate to that because I have my naturalization document hanging in my office too. So it is a very important experience.
Yes.
To not come to this country speaking any English or any of that. And to see you here, it's a proud moment for your family. Ms. Russell, you spent some time at the beginning of your career working in the Office of the Public Defender. And public defenders play a vital role in the justice system, as my colleague Peter Welch always notes, that is a really important experience for people who are going to be judges. So can you speak to the importance of having strong prosecutors and defense attorneys in our adversarial justice system?
So, Senator, I did have the opportunity following my clerkships to work at the Office of the Federal Public Defender in Connecticut. It was a great opportunity to learn my way around federal court, often appearing in different proceedings before the court and representing clients. I do think it's an important role in our system. So there's a Sixth Amendment guarantee of the right to counsel to everyone in the country, regardless of the nature of the offense. Seeing that constitutional obligation carried out through the work of the office was rewarding, and I think gave me experience that would be helpful in a transition to a new role as a judge, where I'm so fortunate to be confirmed.
I note in your background that you've led or are leading a number of clinical programs at your law school. So is there a high percentage of the students at your law school who sign up for these clinical programs?
There are. Quinnipiac has a great experiential program, so we have most of our students taking either a clinic or an externship, and this is a great opportunity for the students to learn while they're in law school and go into practice already knowing some of the skills they need to know.
I have to say that the clinical program that I was in was one of my best experiences at the law school. Well, Judge Keel, can you talk a little bit about the importance of diversity on our bench?
Yes, Senator. Diversity, from my perspective, works two ways. First is the outward view of the court. It instills confidence in our judiciary when the public sees faces like theirs within the judiciary. I think that also instills confidence in the public that there's other people, judges that have had those life experiences as well. I think it also works inward because we have a very small number of people in chambers. I've been very fortunate to have a very diverse group of law clerks, interns, and staff members. We have great discussions and hearing different viewpoints and hearing different lived experiences certainly, I believe, helps me to be a better judge.
I agree with you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Hirono. Before recognizing Senator Kennedy, I want to acknowledge Judge McCasey's arrival. We're glad to have you back in the room. And Professor French has already told us about your travails in arriving here, but thank you very much for coming.